To Waterdown now, where a group of farmers are demanding compensation after acres of their conservation land was destroyed by flooding from a nearby Flamborough quarry. The company says it's authorized to pump out the water, but the farmers say it's too much. Jason Gaidola has the story.
Right through here, it wasn't wet at all.
This barren and Lakefield forest is filled with destroyed trees across 45 acres of private property, according to owner Bruce London. He claims his land value has plummeted 40% from the loss.
Like I said, I'll never see mature trees in my lifetime. You can't fix it. It's unfixable.
London owns the farm right behind it and bought the entire lot back in 2016. He says then it was safe to walk through the conservation portion of his land. Along with the damage, he deems it unsafe due to the flooding.
The water levels at some point got over 3 feet deep. So when you cover the crown of trees with 3 feet of water for most of their life, then everything just dies.
And I think that I'm due compensation for the loss of timber right off the bat.
Today, London and his neighbor Neil Richardson say they want restitution. Nearby is a quarry owned by industrial giant Lafarge Canada, who are approved to discharge water to the floodplain along the farmer's land. Kim Barrett with Conservation Halton, who regulate the area, says the authority did an inspection last week.
We observed was a beaver dam approximately half a meter tall, and it was holding back a significant amount of water. Quite impressive what a small group of beavers can do in a fairly short amount of time. They can change landscapes quite dramatically.
Where they start to chew, then if they think it's too...
The beaver can hear the sound of rushing water for miles, so now we have a beaver migrating. They create dams.
London and Richardson question whether the company is pumping and redirecting too much water. Wildlife expert Chantal with HOBBITSTEE Wildlife Refuge explains the beaver habitat.
We tend to dam shallow water to make it deeper. It's a lot of water, and I don't actually think that beavers would find that very suitable area to dam in. If there's that much water flowing, because that'd be quite a challenge.
However, the Ministry of Environment, Conservation and Parks is responsible for inspecting and says a 2018 inspection was under compliance, but did not specify if that was the last checkup done. They tell CHCH News the ministry will be reviewing discharge records to ensure compliance with the conditions identified in the approval.
Right behind me, you can see the extensive damage here in the floodplain, and Richardson and London tell me between both their properties alone, roughly 80 acres of forest have been destroyed.
London and Richardson also say they expected better management, but Conservation Halton told us that landowners are responsible for removing beaver dams.
Because the beavers just didn't drop in overnight, then they should have seen what was happening and dealt with the beaver issue.
Lafarge Canada tells us that they are aware of the flooding. They add that they're working with provincial agencies to determine the cause and to find a mutually acceptable resolution. What that resolution is yet to be known.